What we doing here? Salute to my audience. Make sure you're subscribed if you're pre-ing this. Also notification bell on. Like, comment. Go back to the previous episodes. It's like a job. Serious. All sorts of formalities you need to follow. Yeah, please. Gracefully. Now today, I was going to talk about how I see tanks jumping out the window. You know, when they went to link the smokers corner and that. You know, smokers are us and that. Tanks went over there. Got me looking at tanks like he could be a smoker. All sorts of assembling is going on over there. I thought, nah, let me leave that for today. I'm going to let tanks do what tanks is doing, because when he went to link the smokers, he was talking like, oh, clue, clout, and does it for... Okay, your opinion. Then I go and watch you talking about bouncer, ambush, and all sorts of things. So what I want to say to the content creators is, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. It's a part of the job. Let's refrain from using the clout word. It makes no sense. Because otherwise, anything any of us do is for clout. What we doing here? All sorts of hypocrites. So instead of that, I wanted to talk about something I see on Channel 4. It crossed my desk. And it was to do with grooming. It was to do with a young man talking about, you know, he feared for his life. He was, you know, what's the correct word for it? Tortured. All sorts of nasty things happened to him because they wanted him to go OT. OT being a terminology for out of town, to my understanding. That's how I used to use the terminology OT. But there's also a short film out on YouTube called Orphan. Salute to whoever's involved with that. Go pre it. Definitely, you know, just something to support and watch. You know, UK based. You know what I'm saying? You know, talking about county lines, and county lines is such a thing, and it has been for so many years, that I felt like, right, I haven't even given my opinion on county line stuff, grooming stuff, and all of that. So let me start off just by saying, rather than me sitting here contradicting myself, which I don't like to do, I was somebody when I was growing up, I was very inquisitive with badness. Not that I wanted to be gangster, but remember, we mistake the terminology bad boy. Just a bad child, naughty, you know what I mean? And I was definitely that growing up. And I always looked out the window and wanted to do what the elder kids was doing. And you know what I'm trying to say? Whether that's knock down ginger, and you know, it starts somewhere, innit? So as I was growing, I always just wanted to find out what life was like on the other side. And I call it the other side because, you know, the drug side of things. No smoking, by the way, please. We're not like Dangles and Simon, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to know. And then when I saw you could earn money from, you know, selling drugs, etc., I think I looked at it as a easy road to making money rather than going to work. Do you get what I mean? So in a sense, I just took what I thought was the easy way out. Wake up when you, not that you had to, it's a graft. I will say it's definitely a graft, but when it's weed and certain things, you wake up when you want, you know, you hustle your weed, you make your money, as long as you're ticking the boxes, you know. So that was my mentality. That's how I grew. That's, you know, I was inclined to be like that. So I just had to state that to let you know where my mindset was. Hence why, you know, I've been to certain places that I don't encourage anybody else to go to. So now when I give my opinion on, you know, I saw the young man talking about OT and grooming, I just had to say, like, my message for any youngster, and don't get it twisted, there's youngsters trying to groom youngsters, which is crazy to me, but my message is simply, if you're not that way inclined, if you're ever approached by people your age, elder people, and you know, arm around the shoulder, you know, it could start anyhow. Yo, you need some change? Shop, yeah, got you, man. You know, you're thinking, big bro, or whatever it is, or my man, like, just gave me some change to go get shop. These times your pockets are empty. That's how it starts, you know. Don't confuse opportunity with opportunists, you know, because an opportunist can see your pockets are empty. He can see if I create an opportunity, you might take that. But the two things are different, because people can give you opportunity or provide you with opportunity they want to see you do good. You know, they give you things to do that may benefit your life, might help you grow, may support your family. That's opportunity. Create a job, could be anything. Opportunists is selfish gain, why they do that. So if you're a kid that's, even a young man, young lady too, because it happens to the females. If you're not that way inclined and you know growing up, you just want to be cool, you're going to go down the college road, career road, work for yourself road, self-employment, understand that early. Understand that as soon as you can. And then don't be influenced. Don't allow yourself to be influenced to do other things because that wasn't in your mindset. You wanted to go and do that. How are you now thinking to go and do that? If you've done that and made that transition, you've been influenced. You know, they might call it grooming. I would say you've been influenced. So basically, stand on your morals and your principles. Now, yes, to some young men, it could involve hands and feet. Yeah? Because people probably approaching you are that way inclined. They may see things as disrespect, even though you might be telling someone no. You might be approached and asked, yo, got this opportunity. You could earn X, Y, or Z a week. Just need you to do X, Y, or Z. Now, at that point, if you're not that way inclined and you know, I'm going to play football or I'm going to link my friends and we're just going to catch some jokes, that's the moment you say, no disrespect, I'm not interested. I'm cool. 9 times out of 10, the person approaching you is going to let you know, all right, bro, if you ever need anything, let me know. No problem. And you never need anything. You know what I mean? Read between the lines. Now, the 1% might, you disrespecting me. They might make you feel uncomfortable. You may have never been in a scenario where you've been made to feel like that. Like, I'm about to get beat up. I'm about to get Nobody wants to get beaten up, bro. But sometimes it's best that it goes like that rather than it could be way worse. You take a little beating. Not that it's right for you to take that beating, by the way. It's definitely not. But we can't govern that. But you've took that beating and now you've been left alone. Whereas you could not take the beating, be scared, be nervous, which is understandable. But then down that road somewhere, you might lose the drugs, the pack, the money, and that beating could be something else. All sorts of torture. All sorts of going to homes to tell mummy and daddy that son owes me X, Y, and Z. Now the family's involved. So pick the lesser of two evils. You might have to get yourself beat down. I don't agree with it. But if it's that and then you walk away and that's it, then sometimes, But again, 9 times out of 10, money makers, they understand, bro. They understand. So when they see somebody tell them, no, thank you, I'm good, it's on to the next. And it's sad to say on to the next, but there is someone that will take the option. They will. And it could be for various reasons. No money at home, no money in their pocket. Mum's not doing too well. Mum might be addicted to drugs. Mum might be an alcoholic. Dad's not about. Or it could be the other way around. Dad's the alcoholic. There's so many things that lead people to make choices and bad choices, but we know sometimes why they make those bad decisions. So for me, I just wanted to put this message across my platform. That's stand strong when you say no. If you're not that way inclined, then it's just no and you stand on no. Regardless. because it can get a lot worse. It can be a lot darker down that road, you know. And it's sad to see people that have to be tortured and all these things, you know, because that's not right. I don't agree with it. But like I said, what it goes back to is opportunists. Know the difference in both, you know, because it could be possible that maybe once upon a time you've took a man's money and said, oh, what, love, I will get some trainers with that, yeah? Oh, my guy, respect you. You go by the forces or whatever it is you go by. Not understanding that now he's telling you, yo, what do you mean I bought you trainers? And now he's looking all sorts of quids for the return. You need to go on that train and go over there and link this man and pattern that. And yeah, don't come back till next week. All you got to do is X, Y, and Z. Now you're there feeling like, oh, he did buy me trainers though. It's over, buddy. Yeah? Straight. So, on a serious note, these things really do happen. It's not cool. But, you know, there's many people in the world that have their own issues. And not everybody can be governed of their issues. So, it will happen. It will continue. It's been happening for years. You know, even when I was younger, I used to hear of it, like people, you know, being told to go here and go there. They didn't really want to, but they just didn't want to face the music. They didn't want to face no hands and feet. But when you check it, wouldn't you rather face hands and feet than face maybe a long sentence in jail, your family having to move, someone maybe ending up, you know, not alive anymore? Like, there's so many barriers to this thing. So sometimes just take the hands and feet, you know. And that's why I encourage people that are in the areas that man used to grow up in, or grew up in, man that are even in worse environments than me, really in the mud. Know what you want to do, man. My problem was I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I loved football. I knew I loved music, but I couldn't see money in that. I just loved to do it. So I did it. But I never really knew what I wanted to do. And that's why I feel like when it came to drugs and making money off it, it felt like it was easy. And it just felt like, okay, I don't need to go to work. Bad decision, you know? So yeah, man, I just wanted to take this time out to, I know when we talk about things like this, you know, you never get the reception you would love, because people, they're here for the tea, they're here for the gossip, they're here for the drama. But sometimes I feel like I like to separate myself and show that my mindset is somewhat growing, is somewhat different to those other folks that you might watch. Hence why I do segments like this, you know. So I'm gonna leave it there. If you need me to, you know, elaborate on anything, leave it in the comments. Soon what I'm gonna be doing is giving you guys an email, you know, that way you can be in touch, because when it comes to merchandise, all sorts of things, you lot will get the drop first, you lot will get the exclusives first via the email, and then we'll pattern from there publicly, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's the landing, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, make sure the notification bell is on. You never know what we might talk about.
Call me Saint Nick, Caesar with me too, going ape shit. Gorillas in the zoo, we had to break shit.